Hi, Tom Cooley, coach for BCSN. It's certainly an honor and privilege to be with a great AD at Toledo Christian, Tandy Bradford. Tandy, so many good things at Toledo Christian. We've interviewed a couple of your athletes, and every time we come to Toledo Christian, we admire so much the balance between academics and athletics, and that's spearheaded by your principal and you. Talk a little bit about that Toledo Christian philosophy.
Yes, I think that we have a good balance in our community. Our parents are very supportive. They help the kids get to their events, plus they help them balance their academic work. Our teachers are involved in that too, because they understand, that our kids are involved in everything. So it's a matter of balancing, heavy school nights with heavy game nights. We try to separate all that out, and the teachers are supportive of that. It's a community effort.
And Tandy, I notice that so many of your kids are encouraged to play multiple sports. And sometimes I see kids in certain schools where they're told, hey, if you want to be good in a sport, just play this and that's it. And I think sometimes they miss out on great life experiences, and that's got to be part of your overall philosophy here. If a youngster wants to play a multiple sport, it's not held against them.
No, not at all. I think, one, it's communication between our coaching staff. We never want to lay anything on the kids. I think the communication has to come from the adults. We don't want the kids out there stressing, I want to make this coach happy, or I want to make this coach happy. We want the kids to enjoy what they're doing and have fun and excel at it. So if we take that pressure away and we're communicating on the coaching level or through our academic departments or our band department, then the kids can do multiple things and get the most out of their high school experience and out of their talents. And we've been able to accomplish that really well. And then, those that go on to college and play those sports, they're going to focus on that sport when they get there. And there were a lot of us that played college sports, and when you get there, that's all you do. So you need to have fun while you're here in high school.
Tandy, that's such a great philosophy, because you're only in high school once, and the thing about it is, I got a couple quarters of eligibility left. I'd like to go back, and I think I could throw a couple passes, but you can't go back, so you better get the most out of the opportunity. Tandy, you're also doing something that most ADs can't do, because the AD job is so difficult. You're the head basketball coach for the women. Now, how do you? It's got to be very difficult for you to parse out the time doing both of those important jobs.
Yes, going into it, I probably was a little naive knowing how long the basketball season is. One, I credit it to my family. My husband is a coach, so he knows the sacrifice time-wise that we have to make. And, the parents and the assistant coaches I have had, my assistant coaches are awesome. They work around me. I have an assistant coach right now upstairs working around me. And they really hone in on that. The players do a really good job too. They're responsible. They know what to do, when to do it. And then I have a really good community of coaching staffs. Whether it be they know if I'm in practice, this has to get done. Or if I'm doing my AG jobs, they need to help me out by setting things up and getting their teams organized. So again, we're a really big community, and so they know if I have multiple jobs, they might need multiple jobs. So that makes my job a little easier, but then sometimes I do have to kind of stop and decompress and say, okay, what's the biggest priority here? Where do I need help, or what do I need to focus on right now?
Tandy, you're a big-time college coach, Georgia Tech, Kentucky Wesleyan, University of Toledo. Those are impressive resume coaching, positions. I've coached in college in football, and I've coached in high school, and there is a difference in the way you relate to the kids, the information, the way you transfer the information, how much information. Take us inside that a little bit, because it is different.
Yes, I've been very fortunate to have some very good jobs at the college level. I've worked with some excellent coaches. I've had some great bosses and some great administrators to work with. Really, the communication level between college and high school to me is the parents. When we recruit athletes, we talk to the parents, we get them to trust us as far as we're going to take care of your kids when they get there. Here, we are with the parents, so we're working right alongside them to help develop their children, to help guide their children through the high school process. We're just on the other end of it. So that communication is more on a daily basis, and we need to kind of learn how to communicate with not just the child, but the adults. And so that process is just different, and it's more daily. So that's the biggest thing that we have to work with at the high school level.
Tandy, Toledo Christian is so lucky to have you in the positions you're in. And also on behalf of Buckeye Cable and BCSN, really want to extend a personal thank you because you've been one of the people out front, foremost, helping BCSN, giving us games, giving us opportunities, understanding what BCSN is all about and allowing us access to your school. And we thank you so much for that.
Thank you. I think BCSN is great. I'm from a small town in Kansas where, people used to tell me, well, if we don't get any recognition. And so to come to a place like Toledo where there's a channel that's really inspiring for young kids and, even my small son is like, Mom, the girls are on TV. I think it really does the community proud to see their kids flourishing at the things that they love to do, and BCSN is a great supporter of that, whether it be academics or athletics.
Tandy, thank you so much. We sure appreciate it.
Thank you.
Tom Coley, coach for BCSN.